Both the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber pay-per-views are done and dusted for 2019. The last stop before reaching WrestleMania is WWE's Fastlane pay-per-view, which is set to air on March 10th, 2019 in Cleveland, Ohio. This pay-per-view serves as a placeholder on possible Mania storylines and allows the fans to piece together some stories heading into the biggest show of the year. 2 matches have already been announced for the pay-per-view, and in this video, we'll predict the rest of the Fastlane card. Let's start off with the kickoff match, as we predict Buddy Murphy goes one-on-one with Humberto Carrillo for the Cruiserweight Championship. Buddy Murphy has been on a roll since he won the Cruiserweight Championship at the Super Showdown pay-per-view last October. Murphy has defeated the likes of Cedric Alexander, Hideo Itami, Akira Tozawa, Kalisto and many others. The Cruiserweight title deserves to be showcased on the main card of WrestleMania this year, but there still needs to be a title defense at Fastlane. The challenger should be worthy enough to get a title defense, but he shouldn't be given the title just yet. Humberto has proved himself to be a worthy opponent, and this would be his first Cruiserweight title match. Humberto was signed to WWE in August in 2018, but has been in the pro wrestling industry since 2012, earning his WWE contract through years of work in many Mexican promotions. Over time, he's managed to capture the PCLL Tag Team titles and the WWA World Middleweight Championship as Ultimo Ninja. He's had great matches so far on the Purple brand, and an opportunity to compete against the champion on a pay-per-view kickoff will allow a larger audience to see his in-ring skills. Now on to the main show, as Mandy Rose goes against Asuka for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. SmackDown Live has already set up their championship matches going into this pay-per-view, all in one episode of SmackDown. Well, that is except for R-Truth's US title, which seems to have fallen off the radar of management again. On last week's edition of SmackDown Live, after distraction by Lacey Evans and having Sonya Deville ringside, Mandy Rose was able to pull off one of the biggest victories of her career by pinning the SmackDown Live Women's Champion Asuka. The championship wasn't on the line, but we can only guess that Rose gets a championship match at Fastlane. The rumour floating around is that at WrestleMania, the Empress of Tomorrow will put her title on the line against NXT call-up Lacey Evans. Rose and Asuka's feud screams of rubber booking, so expect Asuka to get a dominant win before heading into her second ever WrestleMania, this time going in as champion. Finn Balor vs Lio Rush for the Intercontinental Championship. After Balor pinned Rush to win the Intercontinental Championship at the Elimination Chamber, Lashley turned on Rush, but they were back on the same page not more than 24 hours later. This may have been for a good reason though. Rush again took the pin against Balor and Ricochet in a tag team match on Raw. In this new era of WWE, there aren't any more rematches for championships, so Lashley getting his title rematch may be out of the question. But what about Lio Rush? Rush, who clearly wants Lashley to hold the championship again, could attempt to challenge Balor at Fastlane. So if he manages to win the championship, which seems unlikely, he could allow Lashley to take it off him, establishing Lashley as Intercontinental Champion once again without breaking the no rematch clause. Him getting the win over Balor seems unlikely though, but this match would only serve to set up the feud between Rush and Lashley for WrestleMania. The Boss and Hug Connection vs Nia Jax and Tamina for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. At the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, Sasha Banks and Bayley defeated 5 other teams to become the inaugural WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. It was made apparent on Raw that Nia Jax and Tamina have set their focus on the Boss and Hug Connection at the pay-per-view. Nia and Tamina have been pushed on television as a dominant team. And while there are teams that may be more qualified to challenge Banks and Bayley at Fastlane, a matchup against the Samoan tag team would be a great first victory for the 2 former women's champions. Seth Rollins vs Drew McIntyre. Fastlane typically has a throwaway match for the Royal Rumble winner in order to make them look strong going into their championship match at WrestleMania. In the past, we've seen Rumble winner Shinsuke Nakamura defeat Rusev, and this year could see the Scottish psychopath being put in the position of wanting Seth Rollins' spot at WrestleMania. On last week's edition of Raw, we saw McIntyre tell Triple H that he wants to be in the main event, and wanted to face Rollins before Ambrose challenged him instead. McIntyre is one of the biggest threats in the main event scene on Raw that could realistically replace Rollins if someone were to actually take the Kingslayer's spot. Rollins defeating McIntyre at Fastlane can display his heart and determination to face the Beast, as he's likely to win the Universal Championship on the grandest stage of them all. Becky Lynch vs Charlotte Flair. The The story of Charlotte Flair vs Becky Lynch has been one of the biggest storylines in WWE since SummerSlam. These two have faced off in a last women's standing match, no disqualification, and even took part in the TLC main event triple threat match. Essentially, they've had one of the best feuds in a long time, and there still is unfinished business between them. Becky Lynch's injury is still regarded as an angle, and is still expected to compete in the main event of WrestleMania against Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey. Whilst the Women's Royal Rumble winner Becky Lynch was supposed to be her challenger, Flair was introduced to replace her when Lynch was suspended for 60 days by Vince McMahon. That didn't stop Lynch from appearing at the Elimination Chamber, giving Flair and Rousey a beating with her crutches, and standing tall as the alpha female. Lynch's actions should lead to the McMahons reinstating her in order to prove why she deserved to have won the Rumble and be in the first ever Women's WrestleMania main event. A final one-on-one between these two could see Lynch being added into the match, making it a triple threat. These next two matches have been confirmed as the Usos take on Shane McMahon and The Miz for the WWE SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship. After losing the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships at the Elimination Chamber, The Miz begs Shane McMahon to give him another chance by allowing the pair to challenge for the titles one last time against the reigning champions at Fastlane. It's expected that they won't regain the championship, and Shane McMahon could turn on The Miz, starting a feud between the two for WrestleMania, and the main event between Bryan and Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. It was announced by Shane McMahon that Kofi Kingston will challenge the new Bryan for the WWE Championship on last week's edition of SmackDown. Kingston has been on an absolute roll since replacing Mustafa Ali inside the Elimination Chamber, lasting over an hour in a gauntlet match, pinning the WWE Champion. Kingston will also be the last man to be eliminated inside the chamber against Bryan, and would again stand strong as he pinned Bryan again during a 6-man tag team match on SmackDown Live. Fans and wrestlers have been sharing the hashtag KofiMania on social media in support of Kingston's 11-year dedication to the WWE and wanting to see him receive a championship match and win the WWE title. Sadly, it's unlikely that Kingston will become champion, but there's still hope for a rematch at WrestleMania. What do you guys think? What are your predictions for Fastlane? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.